Once again, we are back on Boond Soch ki Tea Talk Train of Thought with a series of an episode with Mrs. Preeti Sharma. She is the Executive Director with Pragati Software Private Limited and also Managing Director with Letterprint Publication Private Limited, a woman and entrepreneur. I think we have seen her excellent journey coming from conservative Sikh family, and she was part of a no-sale for 5 years and took and plunged as far as the entrepreneurship drive which is concerned. She started from her house, Pragati Software Private Limited. Let's catch up with ma'am more on as far as journey which is concerned. Ma'am, welcome back to this show.
Thank you, sir.
Now, in fact, Pragati Software Private Limited, they're offering some software development training to the corporates, like.
Yes.
So, what kind of trainings are being imparted to the corporates?
Yeah. So we provide training on IT subjects. What today's industry, which is EdTech, is what Pragati Software is. One of the very early players. So we, at that time, if you remember, in those years, there used to be NIT. NIT had just started, or AppTech, or SSI, or BITS, or a lot of these institutes were doing student training.
Mm-hmm.
And student training needed a lot big budgets, because if you remember, each station ke paas mein there would be one NIT center, there would be one AppTech center.
Correct.
Yeah. So we said we want to be in training, but we don't have the wherewithal, or we do not have the resources to be so big. So we decided to go for the corporate customers. So we are basically in the B2B segment. When we go to corporates, we find out what is the exact requirements they have on the technical space in terms of their employees. What is the skill gap? What is it that they need? Suppose they want to take their organization in terms of the knowledge base on, say, Python to a particular level. Then we will say, okay, we will provide this Python training for 40 hours, where we will take the person who doesn't know much of Python, or he knows little bit but not so good, to another level where he is able to successfully learn Python and then be part of any project in their company. And many of these companies are offshore projects. So the people which we train, finally they do so well that we have alumni of Pragati Software who's all over the world. Because somewhere we have taught them some programming language where they have learned it, they have mastered it, and they have used it in their own career, and they have grown. In fact, I know that many times people in their LinkedIn profile, they write, learned Python Pragati Software, or learned Excel Pragati Software. So it's some kind of certification.
Correct. But I think more committed, dedicated, and you understand the gap which are required to upscale the as well skill set which are concerned. Now, in fact, from first customer till 350 corporates, how that journey went ahead like?
So we got the first customer because we knew them. So when you start a business, your first customers are, because nobody knows you, those are people who see some fire in you, and they trust you, and they give you the first order because they feel you can do it. So I remember the first order was some 11,000 rupees on 11th December, which is just coming near. So we got the first order of 11,000 rupees from our customer ITC, and they trusted us. They felt that, okay, we can do this well. Then the first few customers are always word of mouth. Then somebody tells somebody else. And then after that, by the time you reach about 50-60 customers, you kind of understand, okay, now this is the way to go. Then we started going to meet other customers. Like we would actually have somebody just walk in, like we would go to them just blindly and ask for an appointment and then take it forward. So that is how it grew. So we would take the list of, say, the stock market, which are the top 100 customers or the top 200 customers. Because those times, corporate training was not yet a concept which was understood.
Correct.
So we had to actually go and train go to the HR department, tell them, this training will help.
Correct.
Today, companies have big training budgets. But those times, it was very new for them.
Correct.
So we had to go and do a lot of selling of the concept of IT के लिए पढ़ाना है.
Mhm.
Many times people would think, no, it is not needed.
Mhm.
Why I want to learn? Then the participant was also like, why should I learn computers?
Mhm.
I will manage without computers. All my life I managed. So
Correct.
those were the barriers we were facing. We went and reached out to customers. We would do cold calls. So for example, if one of my customers, I'm very happy to share, has been Hindustan Lever, and I have myself done training in Lever House.
Nice.
And that was a very emotional moment for me, because in the MBA time, when I applied to Hindustan Lever,
Mhm.
I did not get the job.
Okay.
But when I went and did in that same conference room at Lever House, when I went and did a training for Hindustan Lever, and along with that I did Colgate, and along with that I did Procter and Gamble. It was a wonderful feeling. Like
How did the multinational clients, how you got into those clientele?
it was by me going personally and
Personally.
meeting. Yes. It was it was a lot of personal touch. It still is a lot of personal touch, because people will trust you first, as you are the owner of the company.
Correct.
They will trust you. They will trust your vision.
Mhm.
Anybody comes to a company always for the leadership first,
Correct.
and then the execution. So they trust what you say. They trust your vision. They trust you will deliver. So I would keep on going. Like, so if I had got an order from Hindustan Lever, then I would go to Procter and Gamble. If I got Procter and Gamble, I would go to Colgate. If I got Colgate, I would go to Dabur.
Correct.
So suppose I got HPCL, then I will go to BPCL. If I go to BPCL, I will go to Indian Oil. So
Correct.
I would go to those companies which belong to the same industry, or those companies which were group companies. So for example, if I do Tatas, then I would go to Tata Steel, or I would go to Tata Motors, or I would go to Tata Chemicals. So that is the way we would grow. And for us also, the push came when a customer was happy with us, and then they would suggest our name to others.
Correct.
So there was
Great.
a lot of word of mouth.
Good. If many of them who are listening to Mrs. Preeti Sharma, she's an executive director with Pragati Software Private Limited and managing director with Letter Print Publication Private Limited. Her efforts and the energy and the commitment and the dedication and more focused mind in exploring the possibility and increasing the customer base. I am sure, like, it's when we talk in terms of as a woman entrepreneur, you need to put in those kind of an efforts and the energy. I'm sure, like, अगर आपने ठान लिया तो I think nothing is impossible as far as the success which is concerned. Ma'am, it's an excellent many a times as in women. Like when we talk in terms of B2B concept, you need to make a lot of cold calls, you need to send a lot of letters, and then you seek an appointment. So it's more challenging, like.
Yes.
So any incidents where you felt like, oh, you have been making visits but you're not getting the desired result?
Yes. I think you said a very interesting thing. So my philosophy is that whenever you put in effort, like you go to meet a customer and maybe the customer doesn't give you work. It happens. Happens all the time. I always feel that the universe is very circular. So if you put effort in a particular customer, you may get result from another customer.
Correct.
But the result is never wasted. The effort is never wasted. Because when you go and meet a customer, say for example, I have gone to meet a customer, say Hindustan Lever, or any big customer, any multinational. And suppose I had the meeting, I met the learning head, I met the CHRO, and for some reason we did business or we didn't do business. But the relationship and the impact when we talk to each other, the learning which I get when I meet that person, the learning that person gets when I create an impression in that mind, that is invaluable.
Correct.
So whether you get business or you don't get business, the relationship is always which goes a long way. So I never feel bad. I have never felt bad कि अरे मेरा time waste हो गया, मेरा effort waste हो गया. No.
It's always a learning.
It's always a learning.
Experience.
We don't know what is going to come out of it.
Yeah.
We cannot predict. Sometimes you get a very small order from a customer. It is just one day. And that customer in the next 5-6 years becomes your number one customer.
Correct.
So if I had just thought that time, no, yeah, this is only one day. Why am I wasting my time? I can do something better. I don't think that way. For me, every customer is important. Every interaction is special. Whether it leads to results in a material way or not, doesn't weigh on my mind.
Correct.
For me, it's like, array, I went and interacted with this person. I got this wonderful learning. I got a connect.
Correct.
So for me, that is the most important thing.
Good. Now, in fact, many of the women who are listening to Mrs. Preeti Sharma on this Tea Talk Ek Boond Soch Ki is excellent story of her. In fact, the kind of and passion, commitment, and also in terms of making an efforts like, and that to building up an unconditional relationship. Many a times, if you build up an unconditional relationship and put your that kind of 100% efforts, I'm sure the results are bound to be there. So in fact, it's an excellent insights what we are getting from Mrs. Preeti Sharma on this Tea Talk Ek Boond Soch Ki. If you like this particular episode, go to www.teatalk.net, subscribe, like the channel as much as you can, and also catch up with Mrs. Preeti Sharma on our next show of Tea Talk Ek Boond Soch Ki. And thanks a lot for being part of the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.